It is Sunday, September 20th, 2020, and this is your Three Gorges Dam update. We have 4 pieces of information to cover today, including Three Gorges Reservoir Watch, reservoir levels at the Three Gorges Dam, and why we are tracking them. Next, courtesy of 3gd.mu, commonly asked questions about the charts on their website. Also, courtesy of Xinhua, more rain in China's Guizhou. We also have some new photos and some new tweets. Let's hop into it. And a brief caveat before today's video. While researching for these reports, I come across information from various sources. Just because I decide to include a piece of information doesn't necessarily mean that I agree with it. I like to let you decide for yourself. Moving on. And let's have a quick look at the water level at the Three Gorges Dam before we get started. The current water level at the Three Gorges Dam is 159.87 meters. The current inflow is not listed, but earlier today it was listed at 36,000 cubic meters per second. The current outflow sits at 26,300 cubic meters per second, and it is worth noting that these numbers are released by the CCP. As we can see from the chart currently pictured, the water level at the Three Gorges Reservoir was about 158.5 meters just 24 hours ago, and now the water level is well over 159.8 meters, but that's still a little over 5 meters shy of the official warning level. Upstream at Kuntan, the 24-hour situation is the exact opposite. Just 24 hours ago, the water level was 175.3 meters. It currently sits at 173.8 meters. And this is basically the mission statement of the Three Gorges Reservoir Watch. Reservoir levels at the Three Gorges Dam and why we are tracking them. Although the Three Gorges Dam is a multitasking giant designed to generate electricity, control floods, and promote navigation, it has difficulty meeting these design goals simultaneously. In the dam's operations, these 3 functions tend to conflict with each other. When the dam's water levels are lowered in anticipation of containing surging floodwaters, power generation suffers, so too does navigation upstream. When water is retained in the reservoir to generate maximum power, downstream areas are deprived of water and ships are beached. When floodwaters do come, water is retained in the reservoir to protect downstream populations, causing flooding for upstream populations instead. This is especially so for the Three Gorges Dam, where silt deposits in the slow-moving waters of the reservoir are raising the riverbed and the dam's reservoir to a higher level than announced, placing upstream populations at risk of flooding. For the millions of people living upstream and downstream of the Three Gorges Dam, the management of the dam's reservoir level directly affects their security and livelihoods, but the risks don't end there. Landslides are triggered by a rising and falling reservoir after water permeates the surrounding soil, loosens it, and induces large and small land masses to slide down into the reservoir. According to Chinese and U.S. Geological Survey experts, thousands of landslides in the geologically young Three Gorges area could be triggered in this way. Seismologists have also detected that earthquakes induced by large reservoirs like the Three Gorges occur after a dam has operated at its maximum operating level, called the normal pull level or NPL, and goes into drawdown, with the largest reservoir-induced seismic events occurring within 4 to 5 years after reaching the NPL. Scientists now believe that this process at the Zhangpingpu Dam in Sichuan may have triggered the May 12, 2008 earthquake, and are poring over data to determine the dynamic effect of the dam's reservoir levels on seismic activity leading up to and including the enormous 7.9 earthquake. The Three Gorges reservoir levels are important for reasons of public safety, but they also serve as an important indicator of the dam's failure to deliver its promised goals. Insufficient water cannot generate the electricity revenues to cover the cost of the dam's construction or facilitate shipping upstream to the port of Chongqing. Threateningly high water levels caused by the high inflows indicate that the dam cannot contain floodwaters as promised. For these reasons, and in order to produce a clear-eyed analysis of the cost and benefits of the Three Gorges Dam, we are tracking the daily Three Gorges reservoir level here, and I'll leave a link to their work in the description. And I thought today would be a good day to look at 3gd.moo.com and see how these graphs are actually generated. Lucky for us, they have answers to a bunch of commonly asked questions at the bottom of their webpage. Question: how do you generate the graphs? We started monitoring the Yangtze River Water Resources Commission's website on Sunday, July 19th. Our scripts fetch the real-time water level monitoring page every 5 minutes and update the above graphs. This next question is one that many of us, myself included, has had over the past few weeks. Why is inflow shown as separate points? The water level and outflow are shown as continuous lines. This is a problem with the underlying data source. We assume that estimating and updating inflow requires manual steps, hence the irregular updates. Previously, inflow was reported once every 6 hours, but since July 26, it has been reported once every 2 hours. Outflow and water level updates are once an hour. The inflow curve appears to be basically the measurement at Kuntan due to the length of the reservoir minus runoff and tributaries downriver. So that might explain why the inflow numbers aren't always available. On to the next question. These numbers look suspect. We agree, on multiple occasions inflow is less than outflow, yet the water level is going up. As one ADON said, CCP might just have the real data, and then decide by committee what levels they want to share, and then get the water system operator to tell them how far is too far. We can't argue with that, but the trend lines are potentially indicative, and is important to archive the official data for posterity. On to the next question. Can you add data for the beginning of July? Unfortunately, no, as we don't have data for before July 19th. It is our plan to import the data from the Three Gorges Reservoir Watch eventually. Thank you for watching this video. If you're finding it informative, please consider giving the channel a subscribe. But it still has been raining in parts of China. This comes courtesy of Xinhua. More rain in Guizhou. Meteorological data shows that Guizhou has witnessed 3 regional rainstorms in September, with an average precipitation of 236.3 millimeters and over 400 millimeters in some areas, a period with the highest rainfall in history since 1961. And our last piece of information is a series of interesting tweets. And I think that's a good place to wrap up today's video. I hope that you found it informative, and check back soon for more content.